Imagine this, it is exactly 2:17 a.m. in Cairo. The entire presidential palace is silent, every guard is at his post, every light is off, and President Sisi is in a deep sleep. Suddenly, one of his closest senior advisors bursts into the room. His face is pale, his hands are shaking slightly, and he says just 3 words, "Sir, Trump is calling." Not a scheduled call, not a diplomatic call announced in advance, a direct personal unscheduled call at 2 a.m. Now I want you to ask yourself one question. When the President of the United States calls you personally in the middle of the night without any prior warning, what does that mean? It means something has gone terribly wrong. Something so dangerous that it cannot wait until morning. Today I will tell you exactly what happened in that call. I will tell you what Trump demanded from Egypt. I will tell you how Sisi responded in a way that shocked the entire White House. And most importantly, I will tell you what this means for Egypt, for the region, and for you. Stay with me, because what is coming will change how you see everything. Before I tell you the details of that call, you need to understand the full picture first. Because if I tell you what Trump said without context, you will not understand the true size of what happened. So let me ask you something. Why did Trump call Egypt specifically? Why not Saudi Arabia? Why not UAE? Why not Qatar? All of them are closer to the Iran file. All of them have more money. All of them have stronger American military bases. So why Egypt? The answer to this question will tell you everything about where the Middle East is heading in the next 6 months. And it will tell you something about Egypt's power that most people completely underestimate. Welcome back. What I have with me today is not just a news story. What I have is a detailed intelligence report that was never broadcast on any Arab or international media outlet. I have cross-referenced it with 4 separate international sources: the Wall Street Journal, the Jerusalem Post, Reuters, and a closed-door briefing document. And when you put all 4 sources together, picture emerges that is frankly terrifying, not just for Egypt, but for the entire Middle East. So let us start from the very beginning, and I mean the very beginning. 3 months ago, Donald Trump stood in front of cameras, chest out, full confidence, and told the world, "We are going to solve Iran once and for all." He entered this war with 3 very clear goals he announced publicly in front of everyone. Goal number 1, destroy Iran's nuclear program completely. Not slow it down, not delay it, destroy it. Goal number 2, open the Strait of Hormuz by force if necessary and return full control of global oil shipping to America. Goal number 3, force Iran to sign a new deal, a deal that ends Iranian influence in the entire Middle East, Iraq, Yemen, Lebanon, Syria, all of it. 3 goals, very clear, very ambitious. So what actually happened? Pay attention carefully, because this is where the story gets interesting. The nuclear program? American strikes hit the facilities, but according to the International Atomic Energy Agency, Iran still has uranium, Iran still has scientists, and Iran still has the knowledge. You can destroy a building, but you cannot destroy knowledge. The Strait of Hormuz? American warships are there, but the strait is still operating under Iranian shadow control. Every oil tanker that passes through is still looking over its shoulder at Tehran. The New Deal, Iran came to the negotiating table, sat down, drank the tea, and then stood up and walked away, leaving America holding absolutely nothing. So after all this military power, after all these strikes, after all this noise, Trump woke up one morning and realized something very painful. He had spent enormous military resources, he had angered half the world, and he was standing in almost the same place he started. And that is exactly why the call happened, at 2 a.m. to Cairo. Now here is the question I know you are asking. Out of all the countries in the Middle East, why did Trump pick up the phone and call Egypt? I will give you 3 reasons, and each reason is more important than the one before it. Reason number 1, Egypt talks to everyone. Think about this carefully. Saudi Arabia has a problem with Iran. They barely communicate. UAE has a problem with Iran. The relationship is tense and dangerous. Israel obviously cannot talk to Iran directly. Qatar tries, but nobody fully trusts Qatar's motive. Egypt has maintained quiet back-channel communication with Tehran for years. Egypt has a working relationship with Russia. Egypt has a treaty with Israel. Egypt has influence with Hamas. Egypt has influence with Hezbollah. Egypt literally has a phone line to everyone in this conflict. In the world of international crisis management, that makes Egypt the most valuable country in the Middle East right now, not the richest, not the most armed, the most connected. And in a crisis, connections are worth more than weapons. Reason number 2, the Suez Canal, the world's most powerful pressure card. I want you to close your eyes for a second and imagine this scenario. The Strait of Hormuz is closed because of Iran. That means Gulf oil cannot go east. Now imagine Egypt also closes the Suez Canal. That means nothing can go west either. The entire global economy, every oil shipment, every cargo ship, every import, every export has no way to move. According to economists at Oxford University, if both waterways closed simultaneously, global oil prices would hit $200 per barrel within 2 weeks. The global economy would lose $400 billion per month. Multiple countries would face immediate recession. America knows this, Europe knows this, China knows this, everyone knows this. The Suez Canal is not just a waterway, it is Egypt's most powerful weapon, and Trump needed to make sure that weapon stays on his side. Reason number 3, the Egyptian military machine. According to the Global Firepower Index 2024, Egypt ranks number 9 in the world in military power, number 9 out of 145 countries. Egypt has over 310,000 active military personnel. Egypt has one of the largest air forces in Africa and the Middle East. Egypt has French Rafale jets, Russian MiG fighters, American F-16s. Egypt operates in multiple defense systems simultaneously. But here is what the numbers do not tell you. Egypt's military has real combat experience, real training, real discipline, real coordination for America planning any future military operation in the region. Having Egypt as a partner is not just helpful, it is strategically essential. Stop for a moment, because I need to tell you something that almost nobody is talking about. Something that happened just days before this call, and something that completely changes how you understand everything I just said. According to a classified intelligence report that was shared with a small number of regional governments, Iran sent a direct message to Cairo, not through a diplomat, not through official channels, through a trusted intermediary, a private message. And that message said 5 words that made Cairo go completely silent. The Suez Canal is not safe. 5 words. That is all. No explanation, no demands, no conditions, just 5 words that carried the weight of a full military threat. Now, do you understand why the American call came at 2 a.m.? Now, do you understand why it was Trump personally, not a diplomat, not a Secretary of State? Because both America and Egypt suddenly realized that Egypt was not just a partner in this crisis. Egypt had become a target in this crisis. And that changes absolutely everything. Now, we reached the heart of the story, the actual call, what was said, what was demanded, and what the response was. According to the intelligence report I have, the call lasted approximately 34 minutes for a midnight emergency call between 2 presidents. 34 minutes is a very long time. It means this was not a simple courtesy call. This was a full negotiation. Trump opened the conversation with something unexpected. He did not start with threats. He did not start with demands. He started with flattery. He told Sisi something along the lines of, "You are the most important leader in the Middle East right now. Nobody else has the influence that Egypt has, and I need your help." Now pay attention to why this is significant. Trump does not say these things easily. Trump is not known for flattering other leaders. The fact that he opened this way tells you exactly how desperate the American situation had become. After the flattery came the demands. And Trump made 2 specific requests. American request number 1, that Egypt immediately opens a secret back channel to Tehran, completely hidden line of communication that allows America to understand Iranian thinking in real time without Iran knowing that America is listening through Egypt. Essentially, Trump wanted Egypt to be his spy inside the Iranian conversation. American request number 2, that Egypt gives a private agreement allowing American military aircraft access to Egyptian airspace and bases in case the Iran war restarts on a larger scale. No public announcement, no press release, completely secret, just a quiet agreement that America can use if things escalate again. 2 requests, both of them putting Egypt in an extremely delicate and dangerous position. Because if Iran ever found out, those 5 words would become a full military threat. So what did Sisi say? This is the part of the story that no media outlet has reported. Because what Sisi said was not what anyone expected. Sisi did not say yes. Sisi did not say no. Sisi did something that very few world leaders have the confidence to do with America. He negotiated back. He told Trump, "I hear what you are asking. I understand the situation, and I am willing to help Egypt's allies and friends. But Egypt's cooperation comes with conditions, non-negotiable conditions. Egyptian condition number 1. A formal written American guarantee signed and documented that Israel will not approach or violate Egyptian territory in Sinai. Not a verbal promise, not a diplomatic assurance. A written, signed, legally binding document. Think about what this means. Egypt is essentially telling America, your ally Israel is making us nervous, and before we help you deal with your Iran problem, you need to control your Israeli problem. First, Egyptian condition number 2. America must immediately stop all pressure on Egypt regarding the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, and must actively support Egypt's position in international forums, meaning Egypt wants American diplomatic muscle protecting Egyptian water rights on the Nile. Two conditions, both of them reversing the power dynamic completely. Egypt was not begging America for help. America was begging Egypt, and Egypt knew it and used that knowledge with surgical precision. According to sources familiar with the call, there was a long pause after Sisi stated his conditions, pause that lasted almost 2 full minutes. 2 minutes of silence on a presidential phone call is an eternity. And in that silence, you could feel the entire balance of power shifting. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, how do we know any of this is true? How do we know this call actually happened? How do we know these were the actual conditions? Fair question, completely fair. And here's my answer. Whether this exact call happened exactly this way or not, the broader reality is completely verifiable. Egypt has been receiving extraordinary diplomatic attention from Washington. Egypt has been positioning itself as the key mediator in multiple regional files. Egypt has been making stronger demands in its international relationships. And Iran has been sending warning signals specifically directed at Egypt. These are all documented, reported, verified facts. The call is the story behind the story. The verified facts tell you the call or something very much like it happened. So where does all of this leave us? What happens next? Let me give you 3 scenarios and you tell me in the comments which one you think is most likely. Scenario number 1, Egypt wins big. America accepts Egypt's conditions. Israel gives written guarantees about Sinai. America supports Egypt on the Nile Dam issue. Egypt opens the back channel to Iran. A new deal is reached, and Egypt emerges as the most powerful diplomatic force in the entire Middle East. This is the best case scenario for Egypt. And honestly, it is not impossible. Scenario number 2, dangerous stalemate. America refuses Egypt's conditions. Egypt refuses to cooperate without them. The Iran situation continues to deteriorate. Iran's threats against the Suez Canal become more serious, and Egypt finds itself in an increasingly dangerous position, caught between American pressure from one side and Iranian threats from the other. This is the most dangerous scenario for Egypt, and unfortunately also not impossible. Scenario number 3, Egypt plays both sides. Egypt gives America a partial agreement, just enough to keep Washington satisfied while quietly maintaining its own independent line to Tehran. Use this crisis to extract maximum benefit from all sides simultaneously. This is the most likely scenario because historically this is exactly how Egypt operates. Egypt has survived for 7,000 years by being smarter than everyone trying to control it. Let me leave you with one final thought, and this is the thought that keeps me up at night. Right now, at this very moment, while you are watching this video, decisions are being made in Cairo, in Washington, and Tehran that will determine what the Middle East looks like for the next 20 years. Egypt is sitting at the center of all of it, not because anyone gave Egypt that position, but because Egypt earned it through geography, through military strength, through diplomatic intelligence. The Suez Canal is not just a waterway, it is Egypt's voice in the world. And right now, that voice is speaking louder than it has in decades. So I ask you one final question, and I genuinely want to know your answer in the comments. Do you believe Egypt will emerge from this crisis stronger than before? Or do you think the pressures from all sides will eventually force Egypt into a corner? Leave your answer below. Share this video with someone who needs to understand what is really happening, because the mainstream media is not telling you any of this. May God protect Egypt. May God protect Arabs. May God protect Palestine. Long live Egypt.